All right, let's just jump right in. Bitcoin. You've heard the name, you've seen the crazy headlines, but what is it really all about? Is this the future of money, the key to our financial freedom, or is it just a fast track to total digital anarchy? We're going to break it all down.
You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head. Bitcoin was born from this incredible, revolutionary idea: freedom. Freedom from banks, from governments, from the whole system. But here's the thing. When you tear down every wall and fire every referee, what you're left with isn't always paradise.
So to really get Bitcoin, you have to go back to the moment it was born. This wasn't some idea cooked up in a boardroom during a time of peace and prosperity. No, this was forged in the fire of a complete global meltdown. Picture this. It's 2008. The entire world's financial system is on the brink of collapse. People's trust in the institutions that held their life savings completely shattered. And right in the middle of all that chaos, this mysterious, anonymous figure, or maybe a group, called Satoshi Nakamoto drops a 9-page white paper online, proposing a totally new kind of money. Just a few months later, the first block of Bitcoin is officially mined into existence.
Now this is the really cool part. Satoshi embedded a secret message inside that very first block. It's a headline from the Times of London. And that wasn't just a way to timestamp it, it was a mission statement. It was a digital act of protest against a broken system that bails out the banks while regular people pay the price.
So what was Satoshi's vision? Basically, a complete financial reset. A system where you and I could send money directly to each other anywhere in the world without needing permission from a bank. There's a fixed supply, so no government can just print more and devalue it. And get this, every single transaction is public, recorded forever on the blockchain, verified by pure math, not by some guy in a suit who might be having a bad day.
The idea was elegant. The code was pure, almost perfect. But an idea is one thing. What happens when that perfect code smashes into the messy, unpredictable reality of human nature? Well, that's where the anarchy begins.
In the very early days, this was all just a fun experiment for a handful of believers. There was this one programmer, Laszlo Hanyek, who made the first ever real-world purchase using Bitcoin. He bought 2 large pizzas for a grand total of 10,000 Bitcoins.
Today, those same 10,000 Bitcoins would be worth over $600 million. I mean, can you even wrap your head around that? And that one little story tells you everything you need to know about what happened next. The dream of a new financial system got completely buried by the gold rush for a new speculative asset.
And where there's a gold rush, there's always a collapse. In 2014, the world's biggest Bitcoin exchange at the time, a place called Mt. Gox, just imploded. 850,000 Bitcoins, worth nearly $500 million back then, just vanished into thin air. The blockchain worked perfectly, mind you. You could literally watch the stolen coins move, but there was no 911 to call, no FDIC insurance, no way to get it back. The tech was flawless, the people failed spectacularly.
And this wasn't some one-off event. This lack of rules turned the whole space into a digital Wild West. In 2022 alone, people lost over $3.8 billion to crypto hacks and scams. That promise of freedom? It came with a very, very steep price tag.
And this is the fundamental trade-off, right? The deal you make. With Bitcoin, you are your own bank. You have total freedom, absolute ownership. But you also lose every single safety net we take for granted. There's no customer service line to call if you get scammed. There's no fraud protection. And most importantly, there is no undo button. You send your money to the wrong address, it's gone. Forever.
Now, for years, this was all just a big debate, a theory. But then in 2021, one country decided to stop talking and actually turn the Bitcoin dream into national law. And suddenly, we had our first real-world test case.
The country was El Salvador. They made this incredibly bold move. They declared Bitcoin legal tender, making it official money right alongside the US dollar. The president hailed it as a revolution that would bring financial services to the poor and free them from the old system. The whole world was watching. Was this the future? But the reality on the ground told a very different story. Even with the government pushing it, giving away free Bitcoin, putting up ATMs, the vast majority of people just stuck with what they knew, what they trusted, the good old stable US dollar. For buying groceries and paying rent, a super volatile asset just didn't make any sense.
So what the El Salvador experiment really showed us was something fundamental. A currency that has no state, no central bank? Well, It turns out it still needs the trust and stability that a state provides to actually work for a whole country. Bitcoin is an amazing, powerful piece of technology, but it isn't a financial system.
Okay, so this brings us to one of the biggest ironies in this whole story. The entire point of Bitcoin was to get rid of concentrated power, right? To create a flat, decentralized world. But power is a funny thing. It didn't disappear, it just changed hands.
Let me introduce you to the whales. These are the huge, anonymous accounts that hold massive amounts of Bitcoin. Just let this sink in. A tiny 1% of all Bitcoin addresses control over half of the entire supply. That means a small, invisible group has enough power to move the entire market with a single click. And it all comes down to the rules, or the lack of them. In the regular financial world, if you use secret information for a trade, that's insider trading. You go to jail. In the crypto world, oh, you're just an early adopter. If a bunch of traders on Wall Street conspire to manipulate a price, that's a criminal conspiracy. In crypto, it's called strategy. It's just another Tuesday.
So you have to ask yourself, is this really decentralization, or have we just created a brand new oligarchy, a new ruling class that's just a lot harder to see and has much better technology?
Okay, so after all this, the hype, the crashes, the promise, the chaos, where does that leave us? What is Bitcoin really? Let's try to put the pieces together.
It seems like Bitcoin has become two different things at the same time. On one hand, it's this powerful myth, a story we tell ourselves about a perfect world of pure digital freedom run by flawless code. But on the other hand, it's a mirror, and it reflects back at us all of our own human flaws, our greed, our fear, and our constant struggle for power.
And that's the core paradox, isn't it? The technology gives us absolute perfect transparency. The blockchain is a public ledger that records the truth of every transaction, but it gives us zero accountability. You can watch a thief steal your money in real time, but you can't do a single thing to stop it. The blockchain records the truth, but it can't deliver justice.
Which leads us to the one question that really matters. After everything, did Bitcoin actually succeed in its original mission? Did it free money from the control of the powerful few, or did it just accidentally create a new, more anonymous set of rulers who operate completely outside the law? And maybe that's the ultimate lesson here. Technology can change the game, but it doesn't change the players. Bitcoin proved that money can exist without a state, and that's a truly revolutionary idea. But it also proved that when you get rid of all the rules and all the regulators, the powerful don't just disappear. They just change their wallets.